Good morning, students. Now we are going to discuss different scaling techniques used for measurements. Scaling techniques can be broadly classified into two. First one is comparative scales, and second one is non-comparative scales. Let us discuss one by one. First of all, comparative scales. So, what is a comparative scale? In comparative scaling, the respondent is asked to compare one object with the other. So, at least two objects must be there, and the respondent is asked to compare the first object with the other. The comparative scales can further be divided into three. Three types of comparative scales are there. First one is paired comparison scale, second one is rank order scale, and third one is constant sum scale. Paired comparison scale, rank order scale, and constant sum scale. Okay, so first one. Okay, then let's discuss non-comparative scales also. Non-comparative scales. In non-comparative scaling, the respondents need to evaluate a single object. So in comparative scales, at least two objects will be there. But in non-comparative scales, one object will be there, and the respondent is asked to evaluate a single object. The non-comparative scaling techniques can be further divided into two. First one is continuous rating scale, and second one is itemized rating scale. So different types of non-comparative scales are continuous rating scale and itemized rating scale. And the itemized rating scales and in itemized rating scales we can see that two important scaling techniques are the Likert scale and semantic differential scale. So important itemized rating scales are Likert scale and semantic differential scale. So paired comparison scale. Here a respondent is presented with two objects at a time. Two objects are given to the respondent and asked to select one object according to some criteria. And he is asked to select one aspect according to a given criteria. For example, there are four brands of toilet soaps: Lex, Rexona, Pierce, and Wevel. Okay, and the respondents can prefer Lex to Rexona or Pierce to Wevel. Like in all, we can have six comparisons using these four brands of toilet soaps. We can have six comparisons. First comparison, Lex to Rexona. Next one, Lex to Pierce. Lex to Wevel. Rexona to Pierce. Rexona to Wevel. And Pierce to Wevel. These are the six comparisons that we can make. So here number of pairs is equal to n into n minus 1 all divided by 2. So here 4 items are given, 4 brands of soaps are given. So 4 is the n. 4 into 4 minus 1 all divided by 2. That is equal to 6. We can make 6 comparisons here. In this case, the number of pairs is equal to 6. Here a respondent is presented with two objects at a time and asked to select one object according to some criterion. And the data obtained through this scale is ordinal in nature. Next one is rank order scale. Here the respondents are presented with several items simultaneously and asked to rank them in the order of priority. So here several items are given simultaneously and the respondent is asked to rank them in the order of priority, like first rank, second rank, third rank, like. This is an ordinal scale that describes the favored and unfavored objects but does not reveal the distance between the objects. So rank order scale is an example of ordinal scale. What is the reason? Because it describes the favored and unfavored objects, but it does not reveal the distance between these two or three objects. For example, if the researcher is interested in ranking the preference of some selected brands of toilet soaps, he can give selected brands of toilet soap for ranking. 5 or 6 toilet soaps may be given for ranking. The respondent can pick out one brand he likes the most and assign it the rank 1. He can pick out one brand, for example X, and he can assign it to the rank 1. Then select the second most preferred branch like Rexona, and he can assign it the rank 2, and so on. So this is the procedure followed here. The next one is constant sum scale. Constant sum scale has become quite popular in marketing research because of its simplicity and ease of instructions. Constant sum scale is used mainly in marketing research. What is the reason? Because we can use it very easily. Ease of instructions and simplicity, these are the important features of constant sum scale or advantages of a constant sum scale. So in this method, the respondents are asked to allocate a constant sum of units such as points, typically 10 or 100 or 50 or 20, whatever it be, among a set of stimulus objects with respect to some criterion. So here, the respondents are asked to allocate a constant sum of units. And the constant sum of units may be 10 or 100 or 50, like. And the respondents are they have to allocate the constant sum among set of stimulus objects with respect to some criterion. Constant sum forces the respondent to allocate his evaluations and has the effect of standardizing each scale across persons, since all scores must add to the same constant. Generally, a subjective ratio is obtained by this method. For example, the respondents may be asked, please allocate 100 points on the following attributes of a color television. So we have identified 5 attributes of color television. First one attribute is picture quality or resolution. Second one is price. Third one is aesthetics. Fourth one is technology. Fifth one is remote control. These are the 5 attributes that we have identified for scaling. The respondents might be asked to divide a constant sum to indicate the relevant relative importance of the attributes using a format. So 100 points may be given to the respondents, and the respondent is asked to allocate this 100 points among all these attributes of a color television. So this will be the result. Attributes, 5 attributes are the number of points given, total 100, and how a respondent allocates this total 100 points among all these attributes. Let us see. The first respondent, first attribute is picture quality or resolution, 40 points given to that particular attribute. Second attribute is price, 45 points. Aesthetics, 0, 4. Technology, 1 point. Remote control, 10 points. So this is the allocation of points among all these attributes. So total points, 100. So this is the method of followed here. If an attribute is assigned a higher number of points, it would indicate that the attribute is more important. If an attribute is assigned a higher number of points, it indicates that the attribute is more important than any other attributes. From the above table, the price of the color television is the most important attribute, closely followed by picture quality. So when we look at the column table, we can see that 45 points given to price and 40 points given to picture quality. Okay, so the most important attribute here is the price of color television, and the second most important attribute is picture quality, and this is followed by remote control facility. Then aesthetics and technology are the two attributes that the consumer cared about the least. The advantage of this scale is saving time. However, there are two main disadvantages. First one is the respondents may allocate more or fewer points than those specified. Second disadvantage is that the use of a large number of attributes may cause confusion and fatigue among them. So these are the important disadvantages of this method. Okay, thank you.